In the last lecture, we learned how to add validation on a reactive form in Angular. Now, in this lecture, let's learn how we can show a validation error message to the user if the user has not entered a valid value in a form control. So currently, if we don't enter a valid value in this first name, last name, or email field, in that case, it is showing a red border around those form controls. But along with showing red borders around the form control, we also want to show what validation error has occurred on that particular form control. Let's see how we can do that. So let's go to VS Code and let's go to app-component.html file. There, here we are displaying this first name input element. After that, I'm going to add a small element here. And here, let's say first name is a required field. And let's also use an asterisk before this. Okay, so this is the validation error message we want to show to the user if the user does not enter a value in the first name input field. And for the small element, I have also added some CSS. So if I go to app-component.css and if I scroll up, here you see for the small element, we are setting some CSS styles. For example, the text color will be displayed in red and the font weight will be bold. So if I save the changes and if we go to the web page, you will notice that this error message is being displayed here. Now here, even if I enter a valid value in this first name field, then also this error message will be displayed. But we only want to display this error message if the user has not entered a valid value in this field. For that, what we need to do is, if I submit the form here, we need to access this first name field, this first name control from this controls property, and this first name control will have a valid property. Okay, so currently it is true because we have entered some value in this first name field. So it contains a valid value. That's why this valid is true. But if the user has not entered a valid value in this field, in that case, this valid property will be false. And when this valid property of this first name control is false, then only we want to show this validation error message. Now, how are we going to do that? For that, we need to access this valid property of this first name form control. And to access the valid property of the first name form control, first we will have to access this first name form control. And to access this first name form control, on this form group, we will have a method called get. And using that method, we can access a form control from a form group. Let's see how we can do that. So let's go back to VS Code. And as I mentioned, we want to display this error message, this small element in the web page, only if the form control has an invalid value. So first of all, on this one, we are going to use ngIf directive. And using this ngIf directive, we are going to render this small element in the DOM if the valid property of first name form control is true. If it is false, then we are not going to render this small element in the DOM. For that, I'm using this ngIf directive. Now to this ngIf directive, we need to assign a TypeScript expression which will return a Boolean value. For that, we want to access the first name form control from this reactive form group. So this reactive form property, we are defining this reactive form property in our app component.ts, and it is storing a form group. So on that property, what we are going to do is, so here to this ngIf directive, let's assign that property. And on that property, let's call a get method. And to this get method, we need to pass a string value. Now, what do we need to pass here? We need to pass the name of the form control. So for this input element, for this first name input element, the form control name is first name. So we need to pass this name as a string value to this get method. And it will return us the first name form control from this reactive form group. And in that form control, we will have a valid and invalid property. So here I'm going to use invalid property. So if this invalid property is true, so it should be invalid. So if this invalid property is true, in that case, this small element will be rendered in the web page. But if this invalid property is false, in that case, this small element, it will not get rendered in the web page. Okay, let's see that in action. So let's save the changes. Let's go to the web page. And you will notice that initially That small element is rendered in the web page, so we can see the error message here. But if I go ahead and if I enter a valid value in this field, let's say John, now that error message is gone. Now what I also want is, initially when the page loads, that time this error message should not be displayed. Only if the user has touched this first name form control, and if he has not entered a valid value and then he clicks somewhere outside, that time only we want to show this error message to the user. So we are also going to use the touched property of form control. So let's go back to VS Code and let me move this error message in a separate line so that it will be more readable. And here we are also going to use AND operator. Okay, and again let me copy this expression from here. So again, on the reactive form, we are going to call the get method. We are going to get access to this first name control, and in that first name control we are going to check if that control is touched or not, like this. Okay, so we are checking two conditions now. The first condition we are checking is if the first name form control is invalid, and if it is touched, then only we want to render this small element in the DOM. With this, let's save the changes. Let's go back to the web page. Now, initially, that error message is not being displayed. If I click inside this first name form control, and if I don't enter a valid value, and if I click outside, now that error message is being displayed here. But if I go ahead and if I enter a valid value, let's say John, that error message is gone. And we want to do the same thing for last name and email as well. So again, let's go back to VS Code. Let me copy this HTML from here, and let's also paste it after this last name input element. And there we will say last name is a required field. And here we want to access the last name form control. And for the last name form control, the form control name is last name. So let's pass this name to this get method. So instead of first name, we are going to pass last name. And here also, we are going to pass last name. Okay, let's do the same thing for email as well. So let's scroll down. Here we have the email field. Let's paste this small element there. And here we will say entered email is not valid. Okay, and to this get method, now we need to pass the form control name. And here the form control name is email. So let's pass this form control name. Let's save the changes. Let's go back to the web page. And now if I click inside this first name input element, and if I don't enter any value, and if I click outside, you can see this error message. First name is a required field. Same thing will happen for last name and email. But if we go ahead and if we enter a valid value in these fields, then those error messages will be gone. Okay. Now what we also want is, if any of the form control does not contain a valid value, then we want to disable this submit button. The submit button should be enabled. That means the user should be able to submit the form only if all the form controls contains a valid value. So if I submit this form now, you will notice that on the form level also we have this valid property and invalid property. So we want to make use of this valid property or invalid property of this form group in order to enable or disable this submit button. So if the form is valid, that means all the form controls of this form contains a valid value, then this submit button will be enabled. Otherwise, if any one form control contains an invalid value, this submit button should not be enabled. It should be disabled. For that, let's go to VS Code and let's scroll down. So here we have our submit button. On this submit button, I'm going to use this disabled attribute. And here I'm going to do property binding. Now, where are we storing our form group? We are storing it inside this reactive form property. So this reactive form property, it is going to store the form group. And from that form group, we want to access its valid property. So here let's say reactive form dot valid. So if this expression returns true, that means the form is valid. That means none of its form control contains an invalid value. In that case, we want to enable the submit button. So here we will use not operator. You can also use invalid property here. In that case, you will not have to use this not operator. But since I'm using this valid property, if this valid property returns true, we want to enable the submit button. But if it returns false, then only we want to disable the submit button. With this, let's save the changes. Let's go to the web page. And currently, if I click on this submit button, you will not see that form group logged here because the form is not getting submitted. Only after I enter a valid value in all the required fields, and when I click on this submit button now, all the controls here now has a valid value. So now this submit button should be enabled, and now it should allow us to submit the form. And you can see now the form is submitted and the form group object has been logged here. But if any one form control contains an invalid value, in that case, the complete form will be invalid. And in that case, this submit button should not be enabled. So when I click on this submit button, it should not submit the form and we should not see form group object logged here. So I have already clicked on this submit button 3 times, but it is not submitting the form and it is not logging that form group object in the console.